ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादा सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासां ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोकी भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमो नलिननेत्राय वेणुवाद्यविनोदिने राधाधरसुधापान शालिने वनमालिने। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we'll continue from reading the prayers that have been offered by Shukadeva Goswami from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 4, entitled as The Process of Creation, and text number 16. In the last verse, Shukadeva Goswami has given a process by which he says that lokasya sadhyo vidhunoti kalmasham, that you can get rid of all the kalmashas, the sinful activities or the reactions of sinful activities, whatever that you have accumulated now in your past or what you are going to accumulate in future. Everything gets vidhunoti, cleared up. How? The process that he has given, he says, yat kirtanam yat smaranam yadikshinam yat vandanam yat shravanam yad arhanam. If you perform kirtan, chanting the glories of the Lord, chanting the glories of his holy name, his wonderful pastimes, then remembering them, then seeing the beautiful form of the Lord and offering him your prayers and hearing about these wonderful pastimes, that everything culminates to clean up your heart. And he says that is the best process. So continuing the same theme in the next verse, here he says that vichakshana means the most intellectual, brilliant people. So most intellectual and brilliant people, what they do? So he says here, vichakshanadhyascha charanopasādana sangam vyadasyo bhayato antaratmanaha viranti hi brahmagatim gatakalmasam tasmai shubhadrasavase namo namaha. Here he says that, let me offer my respectful obeisances again and again unto the all-auspicious Lord Sri Krishna. Subhadra Shravase, that's me. Further he says, the highly intellectual whom he called it here as a Vichakshana. Simply by surrendering unto his lotus feet, yad charanopasadanat. Upasadanat means surrendering yourself at the lotus feet of the Lord. Means taking fully shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord. What happens? They're relieved of all attachments to present and future existence, and without difficulty progress toward spiritual existence. So as explained in Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto, in this age of Akali, a simplest process has given to perform the devotional service of the Lord, by which you can attain the highest goal of human life. And that process is chanting of the holy name of Lord. As Navayogendras, they say, Yajantiya Sumedasa. In the age of Akali, there is one particular yaja, and that is chanting the holy name of Lord. And who accepts that? Sumedasa. Medha means intelligence. So means who really has a good intelligence. That person, what he does, he accepts the path of glorifying the holy name of the Lord. And same, Shukdev Goswami says here, Vichakshana Yadapad. The Vichakshana is he, the intellectual person is he who surrenders at the lotus feet of the Lord and renders devotional service to him. Because what happens, already in the previous verse he has said, Vidunoti, Sadhya Vidunoti Kalmasham. That person gets cleared of all his sin, whatever he has committed, is committing, or what he is going to commit in the future. Everything gets washed out by surrendering at the lotus feet of the Lord. In the purport, Prabhupada says, Lord Sri Krishna has repeatedly instructed Arjuna, or for that matter, everyone concerned with becoming his unalloyed devotee. In the last phase of his instruction in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, from text number 64 to 66, in 3 verses, he instructed most confidentially as follows. And Lord says here, Sarvaguhyatamam bhuya shrunu me paramam vachaha ishtosi me dhridam ite tatto bhakshami te hitam manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskaro mami vaishasi satyam te pratijane priyosi me सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वां सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुच. My dear Arjuna, you are very dear to me, and therefore only for your good I will disclose the most secret part of my instruction. It is simply this: become a pure devotee of mine and give yourself unto me only. And I promise you full spiritual existence, by which you may gain the eternal right of a transcendental loving service unto me. Just give up all other ways of religiosity and exclusively surrender unto me, and believe that I will protect you from your sinful acts, and I shall deliver you. Do not worry anymore. Persons who are intelligent take serious notice of this last instruction of the Lord. Knowledge of the self is the first step in spiritual realization. So, what is the self? Generally, people in this world, whoever takes birth here, the first mistake that he does, that he considers himself as body. So if he considers himself as a body, then thing related with the body and thing that has produced by body. So he starts claim on that. Me considers as a body, and mine, the things related with the body. And that itself creates a confusion in his heart. And he forgets his real identity as spiritual soul, a spirit soul. And that's why it is said the first step in spiritual realization is to understand yourself, who you are. Are you this body, or you are something which is beyond this body? Then further it is said that, so once you know that you are not this body but spirit soul, and that is also called as a confidential knowledge. And a step further is a God realization, which is called more confidential knowledge. The culmination of the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is God realization. And when one attains this stage of God realization, he naturally, voluntarily becomes a devotee of the Lord to render him loving transcendental service. So if you know who you are, if you are not this body, then you are spirit soul. So spirit soul, which is beyond this material elements. So sometimes what happens, some people, because of their misunderstanding, they think that I am Atma, I am the soul. But they consider this soul becomes super soul by performing certain kind of yoga, or by cultivating some knowledge, or maybe performing some karma kanda, I can become a that Parabrahma or that supreme. But that never happens. That's just a misconception. So then what is my identity? That also Lord has explained in the Bhagavad Gita. And he says that Mama Amsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. So Jiva Bhuta is Sanatana, he is eternal. So all living entities, they are eternal. This word itself clears the messy conception about our own identity. We are eternal. What is our real identity? Amsha. We are the part and parcel of the Lord, and that is Sanatana, eternally. It's not that today I am part and parcel and tomorrow I am going to become a whole. I will become Purna and I will be Sampurna and I will become Lord. Like sometimes some people they say Danda Dharana Matrena Naro Narayana Bhavet. If I take sannyas, order of a life, then I will become Narayana. I will become that supreme person. But that never happens. Because being a part and parcel of the Lord, the part and parcel is meant to serve. As explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Jivera Swarup hai Krishnera Nityadas. So our constitutional position is to be servant to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So if you know that, if I have a realization about myself, that is self-realization, that I am not this body, but spirit, soul. So once you are fixed on that realization, then the next step comes, then who is God? I am his part and parcel. Then how big he is, what are his attributes, what are his wonderful qualities, what are his pastimes. To know about that, that's the process of realizing the God. And it is said that the culmination of the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is God realization. After reading Bhagavad Gita, if someone claims himself as a God, Ishwaroham, Aham Bhogi, Siddhom, Balvan Sukhi, then he is a foolish fellow. That means he has not understood the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Because in Bhagavad Gita, Lord clearly says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarva pravartate. I am the Lord. Prabhu means not only Lord, but he is supreme controller. Maya adhyakshena prakriti suyate cha charachara. Char and achar, movable, immovable, animated and inanimated. Everything moves under his direction. So he is the controller. So the person who is the controller, he is the real enjoyer. And being his part and parcel means being his energy, we must be utilized for his service. And if you understand that, after reading this Bhagavad Gita, then you have understood the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Then further Prabhupada says here, the culmination of the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is God realization. And when one attains this stage of realization, he naturally, voluntarily becomes a devotee of the Lord to render him loving transcendental service. There are two things. Either you are a Deva or you are a Asura. There is nothing in between. Oh, part-time I am Deva and part-time I am Asura. No, either you are a Deva, demigod, or either you are a demon. So who are these Devas and Asuras?
Worshippers of Lord Vishnu, Devas and do worship Asuras.
Dvam yama purusho loke asmi, Deva Asura evacha. There are two kinds of people in this material world, Deva and Asuras. So Devatas are those who follow the instruction of the higher authority and they perform their activities in this world. Understanding their limited powers, they utilize those powers for the service of the Lord. And demons are those who has a misconception that they says, Ishwaroham aham bhogi siddhoham balavan sukhi. I am the one. I am the real controller. I am the perfected living being. And I am the most powerful. And I am the happiest person. Does really it mean something to them? Because this world, as explained in Bhagavad Gita, is Dukhalayam Ashashvatam. It is temporary and full of sufferings. So if it is full of suffering, then where is the question of becoming happy in this world? Is there any possibility? It's like jumping in the ocean and saying that I'm not going to get wet. Is that possible? No. You may put on any kind of coverings on your body, what they call suits. deep diving suit or maybe swimming suit, whatever you put on, but you are going to get wet in the ocean. So same way in this material world, whoever comes, Brahma Bhuvana Adi Loka, all this 14 planetary system, the 7 upper, 7 middle, and sorry, 7 lower planetary system, all these 14 planetary system, everyone has to go through Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. Then what is that which can save you from all these calamities? That is explained in this verse. And that's why he says, Yada Sharana Upasadana. If you take shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord, then definitely you are going to get rid of all these calamities. And that famous song, as we know, which is composed by Govinda Das, where he says, Bhajahure mana Shri Nandanandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare. He is instructing his mind, or my mind, please worship the lotus feet of Lord Govinda, who is known as Nandanandan. Because his lotus feet, they are called as a Abhaya Charana. Abhaya means that thing where there is no fear. So he says, Abhaya Charanaravinda. If someone takes shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord, then that person is fearless. He becomes Abhaya. So Lord gives them freedom for all sorts of Bhaya. It's not that all their calamities goes away, but they accept that calamities as the mercy of Lord. Their perception to see all that calamities as the opportunity to remember their Lordship. They take it as a better opportunity by which they can make progress in spiritual life. And that's why who take shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord, they are called as a Vichakshana. They are most intelligent. That means fools, they don't take shelter at the lotus feet of Lord. And that's why it's not necessary that each and every person will take lotus feet, shelter at the lotus feet, because everyone is not intellectual as you are. Do you believe in that? See, we are foolish. That's why we're in this material world. If would have been the intellectual or intelligent people, would have gone back. But our problem is that we have much more confidence in our false identity rather than our real identity. And that false identification itself keeps us loitering in this 14 planetary system. Sometime up. What is that verse from Brahma Samhita? Yastvindra gopamathavendra mahosvakaram bandhanuroga phalabhajmat karmani nim nirdahati kintucha bhakti bhajam govindamani purusham tamam. From Indra, the king of heaven, to Indra Gopa. Do you know what it means, Indra Gopa? Which insect? Yes. The insect in the cow dung and Indra, the king of heavenly abode, both are in that particular situation because of karma bandhana, the bondage that has been created by their karmas in previous life. But what happens? Karmani nirdahati kintuja bhakti bhajam. But if you take the devotional service of the Lord, then what happens? Bhakti bhajam. All your karma gets roasted like bija. It's called as a karma bija. Whenever you perform any activities, So you are creating bija for the further effect. So bhakti bhajam, if you do devotional service to the Lord, so these bijas of karma, they get roasted. If you take seeds and roast them, do you think they are going to sprout and create another plant, tree, creeper? No, they are gone. So once you take service at the lotus feet of the Lord, then automatically nirdahanti. It gets burned out. It turns into ashes, all your previous karmas. And that's why who understand that, only that person takes the shelter at the lotus feet of Lord. So Krishna je bhaje se bada chatur. And whoever never take shelter at the lotus feet of Lord, he is
foolish.
Mudoyam na vijanati lokama majabhe. Lord says that foolish, and proper translate it as rascals. Fools and rascals, they never understand Lord. See, that's the problem. And that's why Sukadeva Goswami he says, Vichakshana, the most intelligent people, they take shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord. And that's why most of the foolish people, they may be highly graduated, maybe having a big position in the society. But if they do not understand this particular principle, then they are
Foolish.
fools. And that's what happens, The person who takes shelter at the lotus feet of a Lord, the people who never take, they think that this is a foolish fellow. And whoever has taken shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord, they think that the others, they are foolish. So in any way, better to be a good foolish than the bad foolish. So further it is said that this devotional service to the Lord is always based on the love of God and is distinct from the nature of routine service as prescribed in Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga or Dhyana Yoga. Like Jnana Yoga, if you want to achieve some particular kind of a jnana, then what happens? You have to take birth in a particular family. Then you are destined to achieve that particular knowledge. So it is limited with particular group of people. Then Karma Kanda also. Karma Kanda also is also limited as per status of the people in the society. Because to perform different sorts of pujas, you need to have money. Not a poor fellow can perform Ashwamedh or Rajasya yajnas. Only the people who has money who can spend, only they can do. And then Dhyana Yoga is also not a cup of tea for everyone. Because nowadays everyone think that they can do yoga. But whatever definition that today they have, it is nothing but the real purpose of learning yoga is to have a more sense enjoyment. But real yoga means, as Patanjali in his first sutra he clearly says, Yoga Chitta Nirodhaka, Chitta Vritti Nirodhaka. Yoga means, Chitta means mind, Vritti means activity, Nirodhaka means who controls. So yoga means to control the process through which you can control the activities of mind. But nowadays what happens? It's totally different, their consideration and their execution of yoga. So all these karma, jnana, yoga or dhyana, they have particular kind of a routine that you need to follow. But devotional service, it's a matter of love. And if someone has a love, then at dead of night also mother gets up and renders service to her child. She never thinks that this is not a time right now. Huh? There is a requirement, so they render. There is no schedule for that. So love does not have any limitations, neither of time, not a space, or no regulations for that. What is that? What they call it in English? Everything is fair in love and war. There are no rules because it's a matter of heart. Bhagavad Gita, there are different instructions for such a mean of a different categories. And there are various descriptions for a varnashram dharma, sannyas dharma, yati dharma, the renounced order of a life, controlling the senses, meditation, perfection of a mystic powers, etc. But one who fully surrenders unto the Lord to render service unto Him out of a spontaneous love for Him factually assimilates the essence of all knowledge described in the Vedas. So, which is that verse which speaks about this? 8th chapter, last verse, text number 28. Vedeshu yatneshu tapassu chaiva daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam. So whatever activities you perform by doing all sort of this yogic, karmic practices, you are going to get the result of all that just by taking shelter under the lotus feet of Lord. And that's where the final instruction that Lord has given in the Bhagavad Gita 18.66. He says, give it up. And I think it's in the 11th chapter also, he says that. Bhaktya to ananya shakya aham evo vidurjana. Na tapasa yoga, na karma. You want to know their lordship? Then just by bhaktya, by rendering devotional service to the Lord. Because knowledge, in all the Upanishads, it says that naiti, 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 not this, not this, not this, not that. Then what is that? So what is that? Only can be known only by performing devotional service. Further it is said, one who adopts this method very skillfully attains perfection of a life at once. At once, it is said. Means there is no time limit. Generally, people they ask, oh, if I take a devotional service, how fast I'm going to achieve my destination? What do you think? How fast?
Like 10 million birds laughing and jumping.
Intensity on the person depends on that.
As Lord says, ye yathamam prapadyante. The way you approach, you are going to get same response. You do it seriously, sincerely, the next moment. Someone asked Prabhupada, Swamiji, what do you think? How long it will take to achieve success? Prabhupada said, just a moment, not more than that. It depends upon how much you have surrendered. If you surrender fully, you are Jivan Mukta. You are already liberated. And we have a story of Khatwanga Maharaj. Maharaj Khatwanga, he was so powerful that demigods, they approached him to come and help them in the war against the demon. So he went, he fought so many celestial years, means thousands of earthly years, and he got a victory for demigods. Then they said, you ask what you want, we are ready to give you. Who is asking that? Indra, that you ask for anything, we are ready to give you. He is the one who has saved them, and they are saying that you ask, we are going to give. But he was Vichakshana, he was most intelligent person. He said, how long I'm going to live? What is my time span now? Because already I came here and thousands of earthly years has passed on. So what is time limit? Let me know. Then they said another 45 minutes, one muhurta. That's it. So Katwang Maharaj, he gave up everything, sat down, and he started meditated on the Lord. Yoga, he performed yoga where he controlled all the vrittis, all the cheshtas, all the activities of mind, and he fully concentrated his mind at the lotus feet of the Lord. And he got. And there are jivas for millions of years, they are trying, but not that sincerely. But they are in the process, like us, having so many desires to enjoy in the world, but still they know, okay, he is the supreme enjoyer. But because of that lack of sincerity, they keep rotting in this material world. But one day, if they are in the process, they will get purified and they will attain their Lordship. So further, Prabhupada says here, one who adopts this matter very skillfully attains perfection of a life at once. And this perfection of a human life is called Brahmagati, or the progressive march in spiritual existence. As enunciated by Srila Jiva Goswami on the basis of a Vedic assurance, Brahmagati means to attain the spiritual form as good as that of the Lord. And in that form, the liberated living being eternally lives on one of these spiritual planets situated in the spiritual sky. Attainment of this perfection of life is easily available to a pure devotee of the Lord without his undergoing any difficult method of perfection. Such a devotional life is full of kirtanam, smaranam, ikshanam, etc., as mentioned in the previous verse. One must therefore adopt this simple way of devotional life in order to attain the highest perfection available in any category of a human form of life in any part of the world. When Lord Brahma met Lord Krishna as a playful child at Vrindavan, he offered his prayers in which he said, Shreya smritim bhakti mudasya te vibho klishanti ye kevala bodha labdaye tesham as Tesham asau klishalaye vashishyate nanyat yatha sthula tashvagatinam. In the 10th canto, 14th chapter, text number 4, Ramaji says, Bhakti Yoga is the highest quality of a perfection to be achieved by the intelligent person in lieu of performing a large quantity of spiritual activities. The example cited here is very appropriate. A handful of a real paddy is more valuable than heaps of a paddy skins without any substance within. Similarly, one should not be attracted by the jugglery of a karmakanda or jnanakanda or even an gymnastic performance of yoga. How meticulously Prabhupada has used word for today's yoga practice. What he says?
A handful of earbud is useful than heaps of credit.
Gymnastic performance of yoga. He's not saying Ashtanga Yoga, he says gymnastic performance. But skillfully should take to the simple performance of Kirtanam, Smaranam, etc. under a bona fide spiritual master and without any difficulty attain the highest perfection. So what is devotional service? That has already been explained by Shukdev Goswami. He says that, what is previous verse?
Yat kirtanam, yat smaranam, yat dikshanam, yat vandanam, yat shravanam, yat arhanam. Right.
Yat Kirtana means what? Whatever you speak about Krishna. Then,
Yat smaranam.
see, without remembering, we can't live. You can't sit and you are sitting idly means you are thinking about something. If you are not doing anything, but brain is always working, remembering something, memories are getting gathered. So that activity also you should do it for.
Krishna.
Next,
Yat ikshanam.
we want to see something. Then what you should see?
That deity.
See the beautiful form of the Lord. See His beauty. What is the next? Yad Vandana. See, in this world, whether you are theist or atheist, you have your idol, whom you adore, whom you worship, whom you consider superior. And you bow down in front of him. Huh? So why not in front of the most adorable and most powerful person, Lord? Yad Vandana. Vandanam, the other way is also offering prayers. See, in your life, if you are not glorifying the Lord, you will glorify some Tom, Dick, Harry. So better to glorify Him. Then next,
Yat shravanam.
we got this 24 hours working senses, You can't stop hearing about it. So better to hear about the Lord. The next one,
Yat arhanam.
what it means?
Worship.
You try to worship someone, Always, whether you are theist or atheist. Even in communist countries like China or Russia previously, they never worshipped God, but whom they worshipped? They worshipped Stalin. Huh? In China, they are worshipping their, what they call China's prime minister, or what they call president, whatever he may. They worship him. That means you have to worship someone. Not them, you will start worshipping some bhuta, some ghost, hobgoblins. Because that tendency is there. Why? Because we are part and parcel. We are so minute. Whatever, if you see something, a great manifestation, you surrender and you start worship. That's why some people in the forest, they worship big trees. They worship big mountains. And Lord said, those are my manifestation. Yad yad vibhuti mat sattvam srimadurjitameva. Tat tat mama tejo ansha sambhava. All they are spark of my splendor. That's what Lord says. So ultimately you worship someone. Then why not the Supreme One and get rid of all the calamities? If you have to do it, then do it in proper way. And that's why it says that skillfully performed under a bona fide spiritual master. So what do you need? You need a bona fide spiritual master. Otherwise, चालू गुरु चांडाल चला दोनों का नरक में ठेला उठा. As Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say, Vanchaka Vanchita means there are cheaters Because there are people who want to get cheated. What they call the supply chain link. As per the demand, you get supply. So if demand is for the cheaters, you are not going to get some bona fide person. If there is a need or requirement for bona fide person, then there will be supply of that. And that's why it has explained in Niti Shastra that Shaile Shailana Manikyam Mautikam na Gaje Gaje Sadhavona hi Sarvatra Chandanam Duvane. Each and every forest does not have a sandalwood trees. Or neither all the mountains have the mines of rubies, manikya. Same way, sadhavona hi sarvatra. You can't find the saintly person everywhere. It's very rare. And that's why very fortunate people, they get chance to associate with the moving tirtha. The devotees, they are called as moving tirthas. They keep moving. So, and they keep purifying all the living entities. So here, the process which is most important and can be easily adopted by the most intellectual people, as explained by Shukadeva Goswami. In the next verse, he is going to speak about the comparison between different processes and devotional service. And that we will discuss next time. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki, Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. वो प्लेट रेडी है.